The following podcast contains coarse language and adult themes. This week on the show, it's day 1516 of our love story, friends. And to celebrate, let's just get our goddamn hearts broken with this indie banger, the final in our month-long run of coming-of-age dramadies. It's Mark Webb's 500 Days of Summer. I'm Reegs.
And I'm still somewhere in the seasons.
And this is the Film Addicts podcast. Hey friends, and welcome back to the Film Addicts podcast. We're so happy to have you here for the final week of our indie coming-of-age dramedy syllabus, I guess you could call it. It is day 1516 of mine and Addie's love affair. We have been doing a podcast for that long, coming up on 100 episodes, which we're very excited about. But right now, it's episode 95, and we're talking about 500 Days of Summer, which is an excellent picture. Before we get into it, what's up, buddy? What's going on?
Hey, man. How you been?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. What's been going on with you? What's news?
A lot, actually. I met up with a friend of mine who, no, not nothing like that.
No? Oh, that's a shame.
This is June, so happy Pride, first of all.
Happy Pride, everybody.
I met up with a friend of mine who's visiting from the US. He moved there like 6 years ago, and he came back and he's tall as fuck. And I felt like a little baby in front of him. I'm the oldest of the fucking group, and I'm like the shortest.
Hey, man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I am a tiny person. I was at a bar the other night having some dinner after what I'll talk about and what we were watching. But it was a busy, like, late night, of a weekend. And so this bar was thronged with youth. And Jesus Christ, they're all about 11 years old, but they're all enormous. And I held the door open for this pack of 4 dudes, and they all walked past me like ants. I was like, I'm sorry. What are you drinking? Is Mother and Red Bull making this happen? Or what? Do you vape? When you vape, do you get taller? Like these kids were fucking giant people.
Yeah, man.
He said, well, he looked down and he goes, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. I'm a hobbit by this standard, Gandalf. And he said, don't call me Gandalf C word, and punched me in the dick. It was crazy.
That would have been hard for him because to bend really down.
Yeah, he got all the way down. Yeah, and he was trying to punch me in the head, but I ducked and got it in the dick. Anyway, yes. So he's gotten very tall, and you could just not be friends with him anymore.
No, it was fine. Honestly, I thought it would be really awkward because we kind of hung out. Like we kind of hung out and we talked about Wes Anderson before any of us were like adults. And yeah, I thought it would be awkward, but we picked up right where we left off, and it was insane. Like I did not expect that at all. It was really fun. And it was a friend of mine back when I used to like make like actual short films for like 2 minutes. He asked me if I was still doing that, and I said no, and it really broke my heart.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, it's never too late. Right. Well, do we talk about what we were watching? Because I watched some dope shit.
Yeah. Let's do. What are we watching?
What?
What are
we
watching?
Okay, what are we watching? First thing I want to talk about, and we'll talk about it more in length if you enjoy it, was Motu, the Masters of the Universe movie. Now, I saw it because I was supposed to be on an episode of Sequel Suck for it, but I haven't been able to line up the recording. But I would have seen it anyway. But I wouldn't have gone out as quickly to see it. It was a fucking banger. It's a fucking banger, mate. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's very much informed by the Marvel kind of formula, which is totally fine. It's probably a bit cute in places, but it's a fucking, all of the characters look like the characters the way that you would want them to. So the nostalgia piece is there. It's really fun and silly and it's funny and fun and silly in the way that you want as well. But it's also got some actual real themes. All the actors are, game. Like, everybody's having a good time. Despite the fact that he might be Skeletor in real life, Jared Leto is absolutely killing it as Skeletor. Like the performance is, Skeletor's kind of a joke. Now you see those memes of him all the time, and they've played into that really well. I don't know. I had a really fun. It's too long. It's probably about 20 minutes too long. There's a huge chunk you can cut at the end and just get into the battle. There's actually a piece in the second act you don't need at all. But yeah, it was a good time. I had a good time. That movie's great CG, like it used well, but great practical stuff too. Like all of the characters, like Moss Man and Trapjaw and all. Most of it's all practical effects. That's then enhanced by computer generated stuff afterwards. And it just helps that Travis Knight was the director. It like came from animation. He came from he did Bumblebee, but he did so much animation before that, like Paranorman and stuff. That's what you do. You got to get animated guys to work on this stuff. And it had a lot of heart, and it was joyful and colorful and fun. And there was a dude behind me, and I was sticking around in the cinema because the next movie I was going to watch was in that same cinema anyway. So I was just sitting around, and he was like, "What do you think of that, man?" He was this hippie dude. And I was like, "Yeah, it was a good time." He was like, "It was fun, isn't it? It was fun, wasn't it? It was just a good time. Like it was happy. There's nothing's happy anymore." And I'm like, "You're right, dude. Nothing is happy anymore." Like it was good to see something that was just about pure joy and colorfulness and enjoyment. So yeah, that was really good. The other thing I did, which is something I do every year when they do it, is I went to the Dark Knight trilogy marathon at the Astor. They were doing a 35mm as well, which was really cool, especially Dark Knight Rises because it looks great in that format. But yeah, so I went to the Astor, and it was a beautiful day, and those movies mean a lot to me, and not just because they're Batman or Christopher Nolan or anything, but the arc of that story from Begins to Rises is really interesting when you watch it in its totality. They've really, like, Bruce Wayne's story is really, really interesting. The theme, the sort of JGL story, like Blake's story in Rises is, everyone makes a joke about it because they call him Robin at the end, but it's really like, it's more about, this is what Bruce would have been if he was a cop. Like he would have become a cop and then, been frustrated by the stringency of the, police force and ended up being Batman in the end anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. I just love those movies. They've got a really good place in my heart. They've got a really good philosophical message if you're willing to hear it, but also they're really good action pictures and I love them. But anyway, as I said, it was Astor. It was my 98th, 99th, and 100th movie that I've watched this year. So Rises was 100, so that was really, really cool. And the only other thing I want to talk about really quickly was I've been going through I've been going through my comics and going through all the trade paperbacks I own, which is, in the number in the hundreds, and just going through and kind of culling the lot and getting rid of stuff that I know. It has to really be meaningful for me to keep it. Like, it has to read really well and something I'll go back to again and again. So I'm going through and rereading some stuff for like the first time. And I reread this, which is the first trade paperback of John Constantine Hellblazer that was released in like 1986 or something like that. And so yeah, it's John Constantine was introduced by Alan Moore in Swamp Thing number 37, I think it was, as a side character. And then they gave him his own series that ran for like 300 issues or something. So there's like 20 volumes like this. This is volume 1, you can see. So yeah, the John Constantine Hellblazer Original Sins is the name of this first collection, and it collects, I think it's the first 12 of that Vertigo run, back when Vertigo was in its infancy, written by Jamie Delano, who only really worked on this. He was in prose mostly, but he worked on Hellblazer. It's fucking amazing. Like, this is some of the best, like, gothic horror and sort of mythological storytelling I've ever read. And it's just the prose in it, and the no one writes comics like this anymore. Like, this is Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman sort of period of time. And it's like reading like every single caption you could, like, if it was more popular, they would be Instagrammable. You know what I mean? You would put them on Instagram and shit, and it's like, yeah. So something as simple as this, you know, there's a soldier walking through the rainforest, and the caption says, "The heat is alive. It smothers him with its breathless body, raping his skin with a needle-barbed tongue." Like, there's no reason to be that fucking flowery in a comic book, but it totally works. And the stories are great. The art's real sketchy and weird, and yeah, it's 80s as fuck. I love it. So yeah, Hellblazer Original Sins is the first collected edition. They're kind of hard to come by these days. I don't know where I got this or when I got this. It's fairly tattered and old, so I've probably had it for a while. But I don't even remember reading it the first time. I was probably still drinking back then. But yeah, well worth your time. Hellblazer Original Sins, the Jamie Delano. He only wrote about 40 issues of it before Garth Ennis took over, who would famously go on to do a huge run on Punisher and create Preacher and stuff. Fucking excellent. All right, you go now. It's your turn.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah, you dig it the most, man. It's fucking right up your alley.
Also, I like, I've not read any of Alan Moore's stuff, but I know that he's claimed to have encountered John Constantine in real life twice.
A lot of the people who've written him have, yeah. I think he's been manifested into existence, which you know, either that or they were at a convention and there was a cosplayer there. But anyway, it's like, Alan, you're at Comic-Con, dude. I fucking like Alan Moore would go to Comic-Con. He's like Brando. He has such a contempt for his own profession. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. That's such an incredible analogy, dude.
He's the Marlon Brando of comic book writers.
Just thinking about like that claim, because I know like Grant Morrison has talked about it as well. Like there's a spiritual connection to John Constantine and what he represents. Just thinking about like if we live in a world where our pseudo specter figure is John Constantine, how fucked up is our world, man?
Yeah, he's kind of the working class sorcerer. He fucking hates it, you know? Just wants to get fucking mashed and listen to the Sex Pistols. He doesn't want to be out there and fuck half demon girls. Like, it's not, but he's got to do it because he has to do it. Yeah, it's he's a great character. He's probably up there with, you know, Daredevil, Punisher, Nightwing, Constantine kind of thing. Is where I'm sitting, and probably the Flash, but the good version of the Flash, like the one from the comics.
Yes, absolutely.
Wally West of Barry Allen, yeah. So yeah, what have you been watching? What's up with you?
Oh man, before you get into that, have you watched the finale of Your Friends and Neighbors?
Yes.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about it. Everybody, spoilers for season 2 finale of Your Friends and Neighbors. Skip ahead a few minutes if you don't want to hear this.
Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it because that last season, I guess they weren't sure that they were going to get another one. Mm-hmm. But because of the success of it and the pedigree of it, to set this up, you know, to set it up properly for another season is really great. I love Barney's journey. Like, his story is really interesting, of this guy who was, you know, innocently just trying to keep his family afloat and, you know, get out from under the shadow of his father-in-law and keep his wife happy, who's now pregnant and stuff. And he gets into bed with Coop, and it's just all goes wrong. Yeah, his stories, like where they're sitting there on the stairs and he's like, we're all in this together now, you know? Yeah, I loved it. What did you think?
I was really hoping that something would happen with Coop's back. I think that was, I don't know, because it's been like, that was been hinted at since like episode 1 of season 2. I did not like how they backtracked with Ash though. Like, if I was really hoping that he would, because he was on drugs, so he would eventually wake up. But I like that he woke up, and then as soon as he woke up and they started swerving, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna hate this so much, because I wanted him to live, and I wanted like drastic consequences for all of them, because like how chaotic and messy that character is. But yeah, I do not like how they handled that, and I guess you're right. Like, it's more setting up to what's coming next season.
He has to get out of it. You know, there's got to be, Coop has to kind of win and yet still lose. It's really interesting. He plays it really well too. Like, yeah. He's got this kind of older man's confidence, but he keeps making all these mistakes as well. It's a great show. I really like it.
Yeah. I love like with the mistakes that you mentioned. Like it's not that like he's accidentally doing these. It's just that he doesn't care. And I feel like that's so much about that character and like the world that character belongs to. Doing all of that, and like at the end of the show, he'll probably go home and not face any actual consequences, because that's just how it works.
Because you're white. I did like that scene where she's like, geez, even white people don't go broke or whatever she says, and Barney's like, yeah, I know, right? She's like, oh, come on, you're whiter than he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Other than that, I started watching Widow's Bay on Apple TV.
Yeah, nice. Is it good?
Holy cow, it is so good. It starts off as like this mystery, and this mystery then becomes like really eerie monster of the week stuff. But like it's like the performances are so incredible. I just wish the episodes were longer. But yeah, man, it was such a surprise.
Yeah, that's on the list. I've got it. Every time Apple releases something, I'm like, that looks really good. I'm gonna have to get into that.
Yeah, it was that, and I finished Spider-Noir. I finished my rewatch of both Shrinking and Ted Lasso.
My goodness.
I was watching them concurrently because I was like, I need some goodness.
I was just watching last night the episode of Spider-Noir. I'm only up to I got 2 more episodes to go. The one where it's he's been drugged and the doctor's like using his liver sample to create an inoculation for the mutations, and he's having all those hallucinations, and the general cuts him open and all the spiders come out. Did you fucking lose your shit when that happened?
I did.
Yeah. The half Spider-Man who bites him is bad enough, but like getting cut open and having little spiders come out of you. I
was fine with that because the episode previous to that was the fucking half man spider thing with the giant spider dick.
The big abdomen, the abdomen.
Yeah. Just he turns and he has like half of his face is like a spider eyes. Like, no, thank you, please.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Is that the origin? I mean, we'll talk about it when we do our Spider-Noir episode, but I don't know the origin of the character of Spider-Noir. I've only ever read sort of books that he's already in existence and never stressed his origin. Is that it? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't think they're actually doing like a comic origin. I think it's very like catered to what the show is.
Yeah, and Cage's kind of weirdness that he, because they were talking about someone wanted him to be in a Spider-Man movie. I think it was they were saying the 4th one, or maybe they wanted him to be in the first Andrew Garfield one or something like that. Anyway, he's in conversation about it with the director, and he was like, you need to have a scene where the kid who plays Spider-Man is sitting in his room twitching and doing spider-like shit. And they were like, nah, we're not going to do that. That's exactly what he's doing in this. You know, he's got this weird kind of body horror version of Spider-Man that's going on, which I really dig. And Jason Mantzoukas was talking about it on a podcast. He's like, I wish it was weirder.
Yes.
I wish because Nick Cage is fucking super weird in it. Like he's playing it really, really unusually. Like half the time he's Bogart, and then the other half the time he's this weird kind of manic spider person, and he's not in the costume much either, so it's really rests on his performance, but around him the show's kind of normal.
100%. It's I saw somebody say that like his performance as both Ben Reilly and the Spider is like him playing Humphrey Bogart, who does an impression of Bugs Bunny every time he's in a pickle. So like there's
that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited to talk about it, and you wait for the last episode, man. Like it's so good. It's really, really incredible. And all the spider stuff apart, it's a good story. It's incredible in both versions.
It's told really well. Like it's succinct and contained, which is nice for a superhero thing. But I'm going to watch the last 2 episodes tonight, and we will return with an episode about that. That'll be our next episode. But I also want to watch it in color so that I have the two variations. But it's been a busy week.
He also said that to Sam Raimi, who wanted...
It was Raimi, was it?
Who wanted him to play the Green Goblin. And
the OG. And
he said no, because he wanted to do adaptation more, and that won him an Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good move. That's a good... And then we would all be a lesser for not having the Willem Dafoe performance as that, so... Yeah.
Yes.
Nice one.
And, Nicolas Cage said that Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man in all of cinema. And I want to kiss him for that.
And he would let you. He would let you. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, well, Andrew is. I know his movies they're not as I think they're more celebrated amongst your generation. I think my generation who had the Tobys were like, nah, that's shit. But it wasn't. They were really well made films, particularly the first one. He's a great actor. Anything else, or do we have news? As your segment?
I do want to talk about one more thing I watched yesterday, which is Hokum. It is Hokum. It is a folk horror film directed by Damien McCarthy, who did The Oddity in 2024. This is a much larger film budget-wise. It's also has Adam Scott as the lead role. This man is so incredible with what he does. I am such a fan, and like he understands horror in the most human way possible. The horror in his horror stories is not about like the scares or about like the monster. It's about like kind of what it represents. Like the film it's about a witch, but it's about what the actual atmosphere of like the witch existing kind of represents. It's really deep. It's got a message that I wasn't expecting it to have. I was rushing and I made it by like 2 minutes to spare to the theater to watch it, and I'm so glad that I did. I love it very, very much. It was my favorite theatrical experience of the year so far.
Awesome. Yeah. And hokum, like in my understanding of that word, means something that's bullshit, something that's not real.
Maybe. I'm not sure I'm not sure what it means in Gaelic, because that's probably like where the word originates or what it's referring to. But yeah, it was an incredible film. I know it's out on VOD in many places. I did not watch it because we were getting it in theaters and I waited for it. So yeah, if you have a chance, please do watch it. Watch The Oddity as well. They're fantastic films. They're not very long, and yeah, you'll have a fun time.
The word hokum is a informal term for nonsense or foolish talk. Also describes ideas, claims, or stories that are absurd, untrue, or lack common sense. So that probably makes sense with the thing.
Yep.
And in entertainment, in theatre and film, it refers to something that is cheesy, cliched, or sentimental.
That makes a lot of sense with the given film.
There you go. Bit of school for you, everybody. A bit of schooling in our shits. What news is across the world, sir?
Oh my God! Across the world? You don't want to go there? At 7 o'clock in the morning?
Okay, not across the world. What's going on in entertainment with the nerd news?
Netflix film chief Dan Lin has reaffirmed that they will not work with directors who want theatrical releases. He states, "There's a group of filmmakers who still want theatrical. Those are filmmakers that we've accepted, we just won't work with."
Because they won't come to you, you fucking wanker. You're not going to get them.
Yeah.
That's like a guy walking into a club going, "I don't want any pussy that's here," and walking out again. It's like, well, no one fucking asked, dude. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Hokum.
So this comes around the same time as both Martin Scorsese and Christopher Nolan have stated that AI is a helpful and creative tool for filmmaking.
Oh, dear.
Where the fuck are we going, man? Why?
And yet that 20-year-old kid who made Backroom or whatever that movie's called, they asked him and he's like, absolutely not. Like, what is that? Completely removes the process of the process, which is why I want to make films. So, maybe it's all right. Maybe these old guys are doing it because they're tired and lazy. I mean, I understand using it if you're in the casting department and you need to do call sheets and things like that and cutting down on that kind of work. But if it's anything that's like making an artistic choice, which includes working within visual effects, you're bankrupt. It's over. Forget about it.
And the scary part is that these companies who have created these models and created these AI programs, they're not pushing for it to be known as sentient. because, and this is the most sinister part of all of this, is because if the AI does something that's unethical or really fucking horrible, the companies that made it won't be actually viable, or like they won't be held accountable for it because they've pushed the narrative that the AI that they've created is sentient. So the decisions that the AI makes is its own, which is absolutely fucking horseshit. But it is the most sickening fucking thing that I've ever heard.
The legal sliminess that would have to go on around any documentation or any legal stuff for the use of AI, like it would be so dense and so morally bankrupt, and so like the inability for them to be able to articulate it until the problem came up. You know what I mean? Like a normal person like me and you wouldn't understand it until they pulled it out on us. Like, oh, well, actually, in, page 76-B part 4, it says this, which means, yeah, we can get away with, whatever the fuck it is, like using your voice or whatever. Like all of that stuff is real slimy. I mean, Hollywood deals and stuff like that would probably be pretty fucking horrible anyway, but you add AI to it and what can be used and what can't be used and all that kind of stuff. I remember back in the day I was working on a show and the producer sent the documentation to the cast without me reading it. And one of the stipulations is that we could use their likeness for other projects. And I was like, I didn't fucking sign off on that. And the lead actress got her lawyers in touch with us and said she's going to pull out if this isn't amended. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that wasn't my thing. Like, yeah, that kind of the business side of the show business stuff is fucked. And it's people feel like AI is going to make their jobs easier so they can get paid the same amount and do less work.
Just fucking sucks, man. Like it really takes away the actual human experience that is the most important element of creating art. I don't even know what to say. I'm not even mad at this point. I'm tired of all this shit.
Yeah, it's such crap. And then you see someone like Seth Rogen come out and he's like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
if you want to write, if you want to be a writer, having a piece of software that does the writing for you isn't appealing. Like you want to do that. If you feel like that's the way to go, then you're doing it wrong. Or you shouldn't be a writer. Ed Brubaker put it perfectly. He said, if you, as a writer, need AI because you're worried about productivity, you're doing it wrong. Like, you're not a writer. It was like you were saying before, what do you do when you're faced with a blank page? I'm like, you do the fucking work. You could put a prompt in, sure, absolutely. And then what? I literally heard somebody say the other day that was sitting around having a conversation with a bunch of people, and they said, geez, it's nice to have my own thoughts for a change. I've been listening to AI all week. I'm like, holy shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it really took me by surprise. I had to kind of remove myself from the conversation a little bit. It was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's Wall-E shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where, like, he'd buy this Slurpee, you fat fucks, and sit in your chair with no bones and have Wall-E come save you all, Anyway, we are staunchly anti-AI on the Film Addicts podcast.
Now and forever.
And we also don't like Nazis.
Yeah.
Very against Nazis. Not that those two things are connected, just saying. We don't like Nazis on this show. If you're a Nazi, don't listen.
And all sorts of bigotry in any way, shape, or form.
And injustice. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Was there anything fun going on in the nerd news?
Yes, so I wanted to start by this because I wanted to just get this out of the way. So yeah, I have a couple of other things. Tom Hiddleston teases that Loki's magnificent return in Doomsday will defy expectations. He says, it defied mine when I read the film. I thought this is going to be extraordinary. I don't know how much extraordinary they can get after season 2 of Loki. I feel like Tom Hiddleston knows Loki more than anybody.
When I read Loki, when he pops up in an Avengers book or something, or a Thor book that I'm reading, I always hear his voice. That doesn't happen with everybody.
Like he's been that character, 15 years now?
Yeah, thereabouts. Maybe a bit more.
Have you seen the second season of Loki? The way that it ends, it immortalizes that character into everything that will ever happen with that universe. It is one of the most beautiful things, and it's also, you know how in like screenwriting there's I don't know if it's a rule or a technique, but it's like show don't tell. It's that, like there's so much that happens and it makes you feel so many things. I cried twice while that was happening, and it's the last 10 minutes of the last episode. There's no dialogue, and you know exactly what's happening, and it's just visuals. And I want to end with like a really cool thing that Tom Holland said on the Good Hang podcast with Amy Poehler.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was good. It was a good interview.
He said that they like pushed back filming for Spider-Man Brand New Day because he was doing the Odyssey, and he saw the work ethic over there, which was completely different than his experience with Marvel. And he said, "Can we stop and like rewrite or just kind of like everybody needs to know what they're doing before they're on set." And that like 6-month period is how they got Destin Daniel credit, because before that he was doing something else, and so he got free.
He was supposed to be doing Doomsday.
He was supposed to be doing Kang's Dynasty. Oh yeah, Doomsday. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, what would have been? Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, he came back and like he worked with Destin Daniel credit, and you know he had meetings with actual like important people, with like the producers and, you know, Amy Pascal, about why this film needs to exist, other than the fact that it makes the studios like tons of money.
Yeah, it's gonna make $1 billion.
With just that, man, I'll go watch it 3 times just for that. Yeah,
no, he's got a really good work ethic and a really good. People give him shit, and it's the same reason that they gave fucking. Because I rewatched Les Mis the other night, Tom Hooper version with Anne Hathaway, and the song that she sings, which definitely won her the Oscar, is a single take on her face as a close up, and it's incredible. And then she won an Oscar, and everyone fucking hated her for it, and like said that she was fake. And like where does that insane shit come from? And it comes from people being jealous that they're not pretty and have a lot of money, you know, or whatever. Whatever you find, or you don't like her, she irks you somehow, or whatever it is. Oh, therefore she's not a good person because she's rich and famous. The same thing happened with Tom Holland. He was just a kid and he got really famous really fast, and people give him shit. He's one of the best fucking actors of his generation, and every time he's not in the Spider-Man costume, he proves it. Like, he's really amazing. Whether you liked The Crowded Room or not, it's a really great performance. Whether you liked Candy or not, it's a really great performance. You know, Devil All the Time. Like, just he's a good young actor, and he's really savvy. He's got a really good producer's head, and that's what he's done with Spider-Man. He's like, I could make twice as much money just doing what they're telling me to do, or I could make a little bit less, be a producer, and do it properly. Yeah, and that's why he ends up in The Odyssey. You don't get cast in a fucking Christopher Nolan film if you don't got game. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, he's. I'm looking forward to that movie a lot. He's a good kid.
Yeah, and also it's important to point out that after No Way Home, when his contract was up, he was like, I'm ready to like leave that where it is and not continue that. And like in the press for Brand New Day, and like just like for him like talking about it, he's been saying that he wants to continue for as long as they'll have him, and be like that Tony Stark figure that Tony Stark was in Homecoming. It's like pass on the baton to maybe Miles or Gwen or whoever comes next.
It's going to be Miles. It has to be Miles. Like, let's be real about it. You know, he is the Spider-Man for this generation. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I can't wait. It's all coming up roses. You know what else is coming up roses? Is this film, because it's a fucking banger, mate. It's a banger. It's 500 Days of Summer. Directed by Mark Webb, who would go on to make 2 Spider-Man pictures and then a Snow White film that everybody hated.
Not for him. But I hate that he was part of that.
Yeah, it's not for him. It's not his fault. Written by Michael H. Weber and Scott Naustadter. Those 2 gentlemen, starring, of course, Zooey Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, along with a bevy of fantastic side characters that include Clark Gregg, Chloe Grace Moretz as the sage-like sister, Matthew Gray Gobler, who has a funny name and is also in Criminal Minds. And Minka Kelly pops up at the end as Autumn, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, it's a fantastic film. I thought the best way to kind of go through it would be to do this. 488 is the first day that we see come up on screen with a fantastic Tom's character wants to be an architect. You get all these beautiful architectural drawings and stuff like throughout the picture. This is kind of like Romantic Memento.
Oh my God.
That's kind of what it feels like to me. The way that it loops back on itself and then forward on itself and then back, like it's not, it doesn't go sort of day one and then the next day is the next sort of part of the story and then it moves forward like that. Like it goes day 488, then it's day one, so the day they meet. And this voiceover comes in that appears intermittently and it's got them as young people. You know, Tom's there watching the movie, The Graduate, wrong, and feeling like it's a proper love story. And Summer, the great line of like, Summer loved that she had the long, beautiful hair. She loved it almost as much as being able to cut it off, which is really cool. And this is not a love story, which is kind of the poster line as well. This is not a love story. This is a story about love. And I like that because relationships don't always work, you know?
Yeah.
But we don't like talking about that, you know, people. It's sort of, you kind of want it to be happy. And there is a happy ending to this film, but just not for Tom and Summer.
But it's kind of what we talked about before, you know. It's love will change you and make you into the person you thought you could never become, and then it will end, but it will forever change you. And that's like it's important to realize that as much as it is attached to your attachment to a person, it's also about you in that perspective.
Yes. Yeah, very much so.
I don't for a second discard the emotional wrecking that Tom is going through. But on rewatch, it was very clear what she wanted and what Tom wanted, and those were two very different things.
Yeah, it's that great scene after he sort of, you know, stands up for her against that fucking douche, and she's like, you know, he says, we're not friends. Okay, that's not what this is. And he's like, you're not the only one who gets to say about it, and we're in a relationship, God damn it. It's true. Like you got to be on the same page or it's not going to work. Day 290, which is where we open up, you get the great little sis, you know, Chloe Grace Moretz, that sage like little sis who says a bit later about the boyfriend. It's like, my boyfriend before Mark. And he's like, who the fuck is Mark? What are you talking about? That's really great. And he keeps holding it. He's like, hang on, coach, I'm talking to her. You can't take her away just yet. She's great. And the kind of cartoonishness of him breaking the plates. And like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is one of my favorite actors. I think he's so talented and he's been in so many great films. He's just a worker. He just loves the craft. And he's got a great artistic hub under his kind of media company, Hit Record. And I just dig him a lot. I think he's really cool. I feel like the flashback and the flash forward thing is an overused trope, but this film lives or dies on it. Like if you told this narratively, it wouldn't be half as interesting, right? Oh
yeah, absolutely. It's like that is the element of this film. Like it's the only way that this story makes sense. Yeah,
absolutely. It's you need the trickly bits of information and the fractured nature of the storytelling in order to understand like how difficult it was to get on board. Like, and I said to you that she's that Zooey Deschanel's playing the manic pixie dream girl, and then I'm watching it again. You're right, it's not that at all.
Yeah, it's not, because the thing with that is he thinks that she's the manic pixie dream girl because that's his perception of her. But it like that's not what's happening though. Like she just is. She's just existing, and his perception of her is the more over romanticized version of, you know, like the date in IKEA, you know. And it's also not intercut, but it's also like reflected in like when they go back and it's, you know, honey, the taps aren't working, and it's about what's happening in their relationship. It's because Tom is always optimistic, and because he doesn't start that way, but then like he's able to break free of that and he's able to talk to her, and it's this weird relationship where he wants something and Summer wants something, and both feel like they're working towards the same goal, but it's not.
And sometimes when you're in a relationship, that happens. Like you just start, the course starts veering off, but you're supposed to still be together. And it's really hard to come back, especially when you're young like that, because there's so much opportunity. Again, day one, it cuts back, you know, from day 290, and it's other Mother's Day, which which got me. Fucking Clark Gregg, just, you know, Coulson. And the I love Summer's little sort of, not epitaph, because that's what you have on your gravestone, but the little thing that she's got under her the yearbook, color my life with the chaos of trouble. And that wherever she went, she kind of took this magic with her, and she had an effect on the people. Like, some people are like that. They just have something, and it's almost it's imperceptible on a conscious level. It's something that happens completely unconsciously, which I love. I also love the part where he's like Tom's making his feelings known to his friend, whose name escapes me right now, and he's like, says that she's a stuck-up bitch, and he's like, "Oh man, she's a bitch. Oh, don't worry about her then." You know, like they've made up their mind about her, and nothing's happened, and then it doesn't. And that's day 3, and then day 4, it's the Smiths in the elevator, and then he loves her. Like, dudes are so fucking fickle. It's ridiculous. Just walking erections and fucking insecurity. Those two things.
Yeah.
Hard dick and fucking insecurity is how you could describe 90% of straight dudes.
And all awkwardness. Fucking hell. I'll say this because it's really fucking funny. In high school, I had a crush on this girl for like 4 years, man. She was in my class for 4 years. I never spoke to her. Never. Like, I would admittedly avoid going anywhere near her. And then, like, after I left school, like 2 years after that, I was dared to like confess that, you know, those once a time where I had feelings. So I sent the message, and I was like, "Oh, this might be like, it might not be anything, but I might get like an actual answer." I was left on red for 2 years.
Left on red for 2 years. That's such a fucking, like, your generation to I don't even notice that in my messages. I'm sure it says it there, but I don't ever notice it. Yeah, that's cold-blooded, man. That is some cold-blooded shit. What did she say after the 2 years?
I wish her happy birthday.
Her new phone, who dis?
I wish her happy birthday after that. Oh, no, you can't do that because I did it on Instagram, so you know who it is.
Yeah, right.
I wished her happy birthday like 2 years after, and then she said thank you, and then like a reply to that message 2 years later, I said, "Oh yeah, I knew." I was like, great. Why the fuck was I waiting for a reply 2 years into this?
Yeah. I'm 2 years older now. I don't even love you anymore, you bitch. I love the office drinks thing that's so much fucking cake. You know, that thing that happens in corporate settings. It's funny. It happens at the beginning of He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Like, Adam, you know, gets banished to, I'm not ruining everything. It's in the trailer, and he ends up working in HR for like some office, and the fucking office, man, I got all my toes go like, I would rather fight Skeletor than be in a fucking normal office every day. I'd rather fight Beast Man for my life than do that for my life. Both of them are death. One of them is just slower. So there's that kind of thing. And he reveals that he wants to be an architect, and he's wearing a very nice vest and tie. And he talks about his nickname in school, and she says, "Yeah, mine was Anal Girl." Spits out the water, and she's like, "Because I was really neat and tidy." You know what you were doing there. That's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. That was day 8. Day 154. I'm in love with Summer, and it's all those things. It's all the little moments, you know. I love her smile. I love her knees, and you get the reversal of this later on. But I just like the idea that when you do love someone, that it is incapacitating, that you just can't think of anything else, you know. On day 11, they talk about he's playing Wii tennis with his sister, and he's like, "We talked about banana fish for an hour." I was wondering if they mean banana fish, or do they mean the story by the short story by what's the name of the guy who wrote Catcher in the Rye? Anyway, he wrote a short story called "Nice Day for Banana Fish" or "A Good Day for Banana Fish," which I haven't actually read, but I was wondering if they meant that as opposed to the actual fish.
Might just be fish, man.
J.D. Salinger, whose son played Captain America in the 1990 movie that they made. Isn't that weird?
That's cool.
Day 22. It's off. He's sitting around talking to his mates while they're all playing video games. And guys read into this kind of shit so much. It's fucking pathetic. It's just, we make up our minds about things. Did she say hey instead of hi? Because, you know, lesbians do that. And then where he goes, she's like, do you guys need anything? He's like, I think you know what I need. Like, that's the thing. And playing the Smiths because she said in the lift that she likes the Smiths, playing the Smiths in the background so she hears is fucking pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
It was way too real, because in another life, I remember being that desperate sometimes.
Yeah, of course. You know, like that's when you want to get someone's attention, but still, that's from the outside, it's pretty rough. Loneliness is overrated is a great line as well. Day 27, they go karaokeing and everyone's going. It's cool. You know, everyone is going, and he's trying to get him the idea. And then day 28, they go, everyone wants to be with someone who has no edge, you know, who just is. That's why those people are so appealing, because it's so rare. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really like to find someone who has no, not even armor, but just like constructs no image of themselves. They just present who they are and don't give a fuck. And Summer's not like that. Summer's actually doing the opposite of that a lot of the time, but he perceives her as being that. And it's intimidating too, because then you feel fake, which is, you know, something that's, you know, fairly common when you kind of try to build a relationship. You kind of, you mythologize the person that you're falling in love with. I love the drunk guy where she's like, you know, I don't want to be in a relationship or whatever. He's like, holy shit, you're a dude. She's a dude. That's really, really cool. And there's no such thing as love. It's a fantasy. And he says, how do you know it's real? He says, you know it when you feel it, which is really true. And then he gets up, and I feel like he's probably a better singer than this, but he does a pretty good job of singing that song. Yeah, and then she says, do you like me outside? And that's almost a trap, you know?
That's the only trap. Like, that's the only thing that Tom is, like, looking for. Like, it's almost obvious that that's what's coming.
I'm not saying she's manipulating him, but she's setting up the pins. Yeah. Because then the following day, day 31, they're in the copy room together. And I love the sign on the wall that says, paper cuts hurt, works safely, which is really good. The first kiss. And I feel like some people, women, men, everything in between, like the chase. And that's what that is, the thrill of it. You know what I mean? And then he's talking to his roommate about what's going on. He's like, what are you talking about? This girl you've been obsessed about for ages, you know, blah, blah, blah. Is you getting a hand job, you know, or a blow job? Mouth? And he's like, no jobs. I'm currently unemployed. And then as he's leaving the room, he goes, let me know about any jobs that might come up. He's like, so great.
Also, I hate how much I hate how pretentious Tom is when it comes to the Beatles. Because fuck you for saying that nobody likes Ringo, because everybody likes Ringo. That's the shtick. He is the octopus in the garden. That's why everybody likes him.
He's also very much alive, so.
Yes, very much so.
He's doing better than two of them, at least. Absolutely. Day 282, we don't understand what this is yet, but he's trying to recapture a magic moment that never works. It's him at the IKEA with the taps and all that kind of stuff, trying to recreate that. And then it cuts to day 34, which is the moment that he is trying to recapture. And it's never healthy to try and recapture a pivot point in your life, and that's what I think it is. It's just one in a series of moments that make up your whole life. And you really live your life moment to moment. You think you don't. You think you constantly are being constructed in that moment by what's already happened to you, or constructing it yourself by what's going to happen, which isn't true. Like, you're doing it every second that you go along. You know what I mean? Life stretches infinitely behind you and infinitely in front of you. There's only a portion of time that you're here for that, in this form, whatever it takes. But that little section there, you make decisions and choices that are so unconscious that you don't even know you're making them. And then speaking's one of them. Like, I know roughly what I'm going to say right now, but when the words come out, they're not exactly how they sounded in my head. The, you know, microsecond before I said them. You know, everything changes every time you make a new adjustment, moment to moment. That changes. So yeah, trying to recreate something is You can't hold on to it. It's like trying to punch water. There's just a fucking waste of time. I found in this shot particularly, I started noticing they're never center frame.
Yep.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I hadn't noticed that before. And they go home and he's like, we're just going to keep it casual. She's in my bed. That's what casual people do. And then the post-sex looking at Harrison Ford's reflection, absurdist reality dance sequence with the animated bird. I fucking love it. And he does it so well. He's got such rhythm, JGL. He's great.
That is what I mean by like he's always optimistic. Like there's no version of this where it ever ends badly for him until it does.
Yes. He thinks it's going to be her forever.
Like he says that she is the one. That is the heartbreaking part of it, unfortunately. Like that is like everybody knows how it feels like to fall so deeply in love with somebody who doesn't love you back or doesn't have that same appreciation or feelings for you. That doesn't mean that what happened wasn't real. It's just it was one-sided, and that's heartbreaking. But it did happen,
and it was momentary. Like she did feel that way about him, but then it's gone. I do like the lift closing on him and the happiness, and that it's day 303. It opens again like a smash cut to it, and he gets the email back from her finally, saying whatever he's been waiting. 2008. The email signature says, "Fuck me, that's nearly 20 years. What are we doing in here? Fuck." Day 45 I've written down, but then haven't written anything underneath it. But what I do enjoy is day 87, where they go to the video store and hire a porno film called Sweet and Shower. And she's like, I think that's doable. And they get in the shower and try to do it. Is that an Asian porn joke? Instead of sweet and sour, it's sweet and shower. Like, come, and it's in the Oriental kind of like in quotation marks, everybody, the Oriental lettering. You know what I mean of that time. That's kind of fucked up and funny at the same time.
I didn't see that. That's you're probably right.
Sweet and shower. Day 95.
I can't get over to sweet and shower.
Sweet and shower. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't. They haven't then, because they're watching the movie, obviously, in the film, and you can hear it, but you can't hear, like, it doesn't sound like porn in the traditional sense, but it also doesn't sound like they're doing fake or real Asian accents. So it's on the borderline. If anybody's got an opinion about that, let us know. Have you seen Sweet and Shower? Now I'm thinking of other puns. Pork with plum sauce is already one.
What the fuck is that?
It's just that's the thing about Asian food in Western countries. It's not at all like if you go to a Chinese restaurant, just a normal Chinese restaurant here, everything on the menu is all Westernized stuff, like things like sweet and sour chicken or whatever, and plum with pork sauce. The one that's really great is beef with black bean. And if it was a porn version, it'd be beef with black men.
I'm so confused.
What about which part?
All of it.
So when it's not super important, but when you go to a Chinese restaurant in Australia or other Western countries, some of them are authentic in that they have proper Asian cuisine, but a lot of the time it's Westernized. So it's just Asian variations or Asian flavors, but on typical shit, like special fried rice, which is just fried rice that's got pork and prawns in it, or, sweet and sour, whatever, chicken, pork with plum sauce, beef with black bean, like all that shit. It's all not actual, real, proper Asian cuisine. And that was the joke I was trying to make.
Okay.
But I was thinking of other ones like sweet and shower. So pork with plum sauce already works because it's pork, which also means to...
Oh,
no, I can see that. I'm putting my finger through my... Yeah.
I could hear the friction. That's fine.
Beef with black bean. Yeah, you can hear the friction. There you go, everybody. Enjoy. Anyway, let's get off the Asian porn jokes. Day 95, showing somebody new, especially at the beginning of a relationship, the things that you care about and the things that they may not have seen before is really special. And Tom gets to do that with the architecture. He takes her around and they go to his favorite spot and she's like, what's that? And he's like, it's a parking lot. and he draws on her arm, and being in love has to feel good as it does when you're happy, because all of the other times it breaks your fucking heart. You know what I mean? Like love needs to feel as big as it does, because otherwise you would give up way too easily, because for the, you know, and sometimes it's a different percentage day by day, but let's just say 50-50, it'll break your heart, and the other 50% it'll make you feel the best you've ever felt. So that's why you hang on so tight, or why people hang on so tight, I think.
Like the film says, you know, you'll know when you feel it. That the feeling of it is so grand and it's so larger than life that it makes you feel invincible in that way. That you're like, it's, you know, it is the best thing to ever happen to you. And then when it's not, it's, you know, the best thing that could ever happen to you did, and now it's not there.
And now it's gone. Yeah, that's such a great way to put it too. The best thing that's ever happened to you, and then the best things that already happened to you and it's passed. Yeah, good call. Day 109 in Summer's apartment, the voiceover comes back, and but it still works. And they're lying there, and she's talking about it, and he says, you know, Tom thought these are the stories you have to earn. And then she says, you know, those 3 magic words, I've never told anyone that before, or not 3 magic words, that magic sentence. And he says, you know, that's kind of why I'm here. That's a really important moment as well. Yeah, day 118, he gets the sage-like sister again. You know, that's where she talks about my boyfriend before Mark. Who the And then she talks about Summer's ex-boyfriend having the abs of Jesus. I don't think Jesus had abs. He was just probably thin from all the fasting. Did Jesus fast? I don't know.
Middle Eastern brown dude probably did fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Day 259, the bitterness at the world, we're in the bar, and he's like, oh, you know, women used to dress differently in the 20s or whatever. Why can't we get back to that? And she's just like, fucking hell. Like you there's a part of you that unloads onto a spouse when you're frustrated within the relationship. You get frustrated within the world, and you start picking on things that you wouldn't normally, and they're the one you dump on because you can't tell them what's actually the problem, because that might lead to an actual conversation and growth, or not that as well. And people don't like that shit because it requires work. But that kind of masculine challenge, and she handles it so well. And she's like, don't be rude. I've said no, please leave us alone. Like, women know what's up. And that guy's such a douche. Like, he's such a cartoon. That masculine challenge, it happens, but it feels wrong every time.
Yeah.
Like, when the stakes are that low, you protect the people you love. Absolutely. You know, when push comes to shove, like, you will go to war for you know, the people who you need to protect, but not to idiots with words. Like, we were in the city one time, and Emily got grabbed from behind by a guy. It ended up being someone she knew, but I didn't know that. And instinctively, I pulled him off her and nearly hit him before he said my name, as if I'd met him. And I hadn't before. He was a person that she used to go to school with or whatever. And she said that was weird afterwards. So that's that. But I've also had people like say to my face, not my current partner, but say to my face, oh, your girlfriend's a slut or whatever. I just laugh at them. I'm like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to elicit a reaction to me? I was at a bar one time just standing there enjoying a band, and a guy came over and said, what's that? You want to fight? And I said, excuse me? And he goes, you said you want to fight? And I literally laughed in his face. I was like, you've got the wrong dude, man. That's not what I do. Like, you can't test my masculinity like that. It doesn't work. You want to test my masculinity, put me in a situation where it's life or death, and then we'll do it. But you're a fucking moron. Like, you don't need to do that. And you certainly don't need to protect women from idiots with words. They deal with them all the time.
Yes.
And do you know why? Because we're all one of them. That's why you fucking... And it doesn't have to be a man as an idiot, just an idiot in general.
It's also, when it happens in the film, it's that Tom gets hurt because he says, this is the guy that you're going out with. So he makes it about himself while the idiot is walking away.
It would have been over.
Yes.
It would have been over. You just say something that depletes him. You're like, I'm sorry, are you still talking? or the fantastic one from The Big Lebowski. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. That's a great one. You know? Yeah, it's just like handled poorly. I think apparently it's the same day. No, maybe I missed the next day or whatever it is. But the penis game is hysterical.
Yeah, that's the next day because they...
Right, I must have missed whatever the day is for that one. I forgot to write it down. But the penis game is hysterical. There's kids around. There's no kids around. And then you hear kids run past and you see them in the background. Fucking epic. I love it. Penis.
They say it's Tourette's. I'm sorry.
Yeah. She's got it too. The great cut to day 191, the movie's with her, and then immediately 314, the movie alone, and he's in it. And it's the French New Wave kind of thing, which is just so beautiful because it articulates that kind of misery so well. I do really like day 231. He's in Coulson's office. Clark Gregg, I know he is. And it's really beautiful, and he's such a sweet, soft, gentle man. You know, that character. I love it so much. And I thought when she came in that they were having an affair. I don't know. That's another movie, but it was nice to find that he's actually a decent dude. And he says, well, your work's just been a bit off lately. You know, we're going to move you into commiseration and all that kind of stuff. But it's been a bit off lately, like this one. Roses are red, violets are blue. Fuck you, whore. He's like, for a Valentine's Day, that's just too much. Like, if you did that anywhere else, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's also like it's so weird to see like a corporate boss genuinely care about his employee, you know?
Yeah, especially in that kind of the thing where the shit's got to keep going out the door. Don't have time to reset. But then you get the converse of that in day 167, which is where he's just killing it because he's so in touch with his emotions. I'm always proud of you, but today you get a card. And he's with all the groups. I love us when he sees her. Like just, yeah, that kind of invincibility that love and fucking good sex give you. 322, I hate. And the change of the color between all the graphics, the numbered graphics, it gets darker the further the days go on, which is really interesting. 345, the blind date is just so fucking sad. It's just like, I know people need to get back on the horse, but fuck, maybe not that. A blind date, no less, you know?
Yeah.
Sad.
I have nothing to say to that. It's just, it's sad, but it's also hard not to be so frustrated at Tom because he's so much in his head at that point.
Yeah, and you just want to slap him and be like, snap out of it, dude.
Yeah. And
you see that, you know, 500 Days of Summer, not a lot of them are happy, you know.
Almost none of them are, dude. Like it's that like beginning, and then the rest of it is just suffering. And it's also like only a year and a half is 500 days is like a year and a half. Yeah. Ish. 365 is a year, so close to. And that on day 402, the reconnection on the train, you'll open an old wound in an effort to heal it further, you know? And I feel like that's what this is. And make no mistake about it, I don't care who you are, there'll always be that one. And sometimes you get to be with them, and sometimes they just haunt you forever. Yeah. And not necessarily in a bad way, in a way that taught me an awful lot about who I am, as painful as it was. So you didn't lose anything on that. It was just one of the critical lily pads in your inevitable hop to the bank, and a way to, not the bank where you put the money in, I mean the bank of the river you're on, in this metaphor where we're all frogs. Then you get to that bank and you're back to safety, you know. I do love the fro on the band leader at the wedding. That's really good. But then it cuts to these really interesting, like little short interviews with different cast members. And Matthew Gray Gobler, as the best friend, has it. And he's talking about his partner who he got together with when they were quite young. And he's like, you know, my dream girl would probably be, you know, a little bit more into sports and have bigger chests and maybe have fairer hair. But Robin's better than my dream girl. She's real. I like that a lot. Because, you know, it's okay to be into other people or find other people attractive when you're in a relationship. It doesn't mean you don't feel that way about your partner. It just means that you're fucking walking around. Like anybody who's in a relationship and the person who you're in that relationship with says that they're not attracted to anyone else, they're lying. You can be attracted to someone, or you can find someone attractive without being attracted to them. And you can also feel those things without acting on it as well. You know what I mean? Like if you're watching a movie and your partner says, Jesus, Sydney Sweeney's fucking got a great rack or whatever. He's not saying you have a bad one, Yeah.
Just saying that I also appreciate that rack. If my partner says, geez, Harrison Ford is good all the time, isn't he? Like all of the years of Harrison Ford. I'm like, you're absolutely right. He is. He is a babe from day one to day now. Absolutely. Like, it doesn't mean she finds me less attractive, or that if Harrison Ford turned up that she'd, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be against it, honestly. It's like, imagine that at the bar, sitting around, everyone telling stories. Oh, yeah, I was with this hot chick the other night, and she was going, oh, yeah, I hooked up on, Grindr or Tinder or whatever. So, oh, yeah, my girlfriend fucked Harrison Ford. Where's everyone going? It happened. It fucking happened.
Because the replicants came in and took everybody out.
Day 408, the voiceover returns again. The expectations versus reality scene is probably my favorite scene. The Rashomon style storytelling advice of the party is piercingly accurate. That the idea you get in your head, it's just happened in the most recent season of Shrinking, where he says, he's like, you get an idea in your head of how something should be, and then you're disappointed when it doesn't go that way. Like, disappointed if you wake up in the morning and can't fly to work as well. But it's like, let's live in the real world for a second. Drinking alone at a party where you don't know anyone and is horrible. And then he turns around and he sees her at a distance and he sees the ring, and it pushes the expectation shot, like there's a pan, and against something soft in the frame, like something dirty in the frame, that pushes the expectations part out of frame, and he's just standing there in the full reality of what's happened. She invited him to this party as kind of a sympathy thing, and just, why didn't she tell him? That's fucking brutal,
Do you think it just happened there? Like, he just proposed there and like it wasn't?
Nah. It'd be a bigger deal. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I think she was just softballing, telling him, and was too much of a coward to do it on that day.
Yeah.
Because she is like, as Summer's not wrong, but she's quite cowardly. Like, she doesn't give him information, and she strings him along. Like, she knows, maybe she doesn't know how much she's affecting him, but she knows what she's doing. Like, there's no mistaking it. For as infantile and short-tempered and blindly optimistic as Tom is, like, she's also aloof and fucking flaky and difficult to read and also haphazard. She just kind of flits in and out of things, and without the consequences of, she doesn't look behind to see the wreck that she's left. She just brushes her shoulder and walks off, Yeah, so I don't think that was the case, but yeah, she still should have said something. But it does lead to the fantastic lost weekend of days 440, 441, 441 and a half, which are rock bottom, where he sees those people just walking down the street holding hands, and he's like, get a room, seriously. You just fucking hate the world. It's brutal.
It's the height of the self-agony and then the suffering, because obviously the expectation was that he'll probably go and get her back or something along those lines. And to have it fully deleted from the possibilities in your lifetime is a shock. And I feel like for the first time, Tom does the one thing that he should have. He doesn't overreact. He just walks away.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is that kind of, that hard reset, like, that's rock bottom.
Yep.
And when you hit rock bottom, people say, no, there's always more down. There's not. Sometimes you get to the bottom, you're like, I am the worst version of myself. I need to go back up again. I need to get back up again. It kind of happens after day 442, where he's kind of picking on the ladies' cat cards. And I think I'm this lady. He just thinks that everyone's interested in their cats. My fucking cats are awesome. I'll take on any of you motherfuckers who would say or think otherwise. They're just cats. They're not, motherfucker. They're fucking creatures from space. And eventually the mothership is going to come back and take us all off this goddamn burning rock with all of its racism and AI horse shit. And it's going to be fucking dope. And we're going to go to kitty heaven, where the milk flows like water and all the mice are slow. That's what the cat planet's like. Anyway, I lost track. Hang on, get back there. Okay, the breakdown over the cards and the vacancy of the lie of love that we're sold, which isn't not true either. Like, it's like he says in Fight Club, the world will have us believing that we'll all be movie stars and rock gods, and we won't. Like, a very select few of us will be. I think the most important thing, regardless of love or ambition or anything, is, are you happy? And it's the first thing I ask people as well. Don't ask people how their day is. Don't ask people what work's like. Like, be piercing. They're going to answer whether they want to or not. Ask them if they're happy. Are you happy today? They'll really think about it. Or the other really good one is, what was the best thing that happened to you today? That'll immediately spark thought. It's so great. You just watch people's face change. Like, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, what was the best part of your day? Just watch them light up at not only your interest, but them also recalling. And it could be the smallest shits in the world. You know, it could be just like, I saw a pretty girl today and she smiled at me, you know, or it's a fucking really good cup of coffee. Or I got my fucking balls licked by, you know, a fucking 2 men and women. Oh, so there were 4 of us. There were 5 of us, actually. You know what I mean? Like, it could be anything. It just, like, give people the opportunity to express the joy that they find in their life, and maybe they'll find it a little bit easier next time. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to steal that. Thank you. You're welcome. That's all right. I am sage. I do like the idea that, though, he says, you know, the cards, you know, to say how they feel. Like, people should be able to say how they feel, and the giving up and the giving up on the slow clap's really funny. But then day 450, you kind of get towards healing. You know, he's sketching again. Sometimes you have to tear down the old world to make a new one. Thanks, Harrison Ford, as Thunderbolt Ross. I think, and his sister says to him, I know you think she was the one, but next time you look back, I really think you should look again and reassess. And he does. He looks at it, the fog of it, the love, the pain, the fear, the doubt, the sex, the trust, the lies, the innocence of it all. And you can either accept all that or get lost between the swings. You know, like it's so rapid. That those emotions will change and shift, that you like, but every time you hold on to one, you feel like that's the way that it's always going to be. So don't get lost in the middle there. That's kind of where it sucks. Like, wait, change is coming, I promise you. And then after the graduate, and she's crying, and then the breakup pancakes, and it kind of flips back to the beginning, you know, where we found them in that diner having the pancakes, and she's breaking up with him mostly. Yeah, mostly. She's mostly breaking up with him and then eating pancakes, which look fucking dope. Loves pancakes, me. I do. It's my favorite, like, breakfast treat thing. Like, I very, very rarely get them. One time we made them and I flipped it in the pan and it ended up on the range hood. That was pretty fun. Oh, the what? The thing that hangs down over the top of the stove top, so that it's got the fan that takes the exhaust fan that takes all the smoke out if you're cooking something or whatever, all the steam. And yeah, I flipped it, and it came all the way out of the pan and went on the range hood, which was silly. I feel like that conversation itself, like it showed the entirety of the relationship that they had with each other. Like, you know, it was always one-sided. It was they were never on the same page. The fact that he even has to ask, "Are you not happy?" You know, it's like they were in completely different worlds from the beginning. And there was a connection, but it wasn't like this. This wasn't necessarily something that would have enhanced that in any way. Day 456 to 476, so 20 days. He has a rebirth, and you get the great montage of her wedding, and you don't see her husband either. You don't see the groom. Yeah. And it's Tom drawing again, and he's drawing in the wall in his room, and you got it's a great soundtrack, the really good indie gems, but. This change, like, you know, the hitting the rock bottom, the kind of coming out of it, and you know, a drastic shift, like, I'm getting out of this job and I'm going to go and chase my dreams down. Like, chase your fucking dreams every day you can, everybody. Like, it's more important than anything else. But you have to remember, you who's listening, you personally are responsible for the weight that you carry and what it contains. Do you want to stay the same? Or are you willing to evolve and maybe find happiness somewhere else? Because you may not have this person who you love so much and hurt you so much, but you'll always have you. And you need to be okay with that. You need to be on board with that. And that's the lesson of this movie to me, is that people come and go, but you're all you've got. And if you're cool with that, if you jive with that, you're going to be so much happier as a person, and therefore you will attract somebody who will, you know, bolster that. And if they don't, then fuck them off. They're not worth your time. I'll take one real motherfucker in my life than 30 flakes or halvesies, or, you know, people who don't really care about you, but are loud in your sphere.
Very, very well said, man. I feel like for me, the lesson that I do take away from this is partly what you said, but also always thinking into perspectives whenever you're like in a situation, you know, because you might be so much in your understanding of things that you will disregard things that are so obviously clear just because you're thinking of it a certain way. And that's happened to me. Like, that happens to me all the time. Half of the things that have ended up happening is because I've had that, because I've not had like a perspective other than what I'm thinking. So yeah, it's very important to think critically, even if the thing that you're thinking critically of is something that is something like love that is so unquantifiable and so like so unique to person. Like it can be completely different for you and completely different for the person that you're with. So yeah, that's kind of what I take from it. Like I don't hate either of them. They're both complex. It's just that they weren't for each other, and it was heartbreaking that's what had to happen. But it had to happen to both of them for them to end up where they had to eventually.
Excellent point, well made, friend. Coming towards the end here, everybody. 488. He's back at his favorite spot where they sat, and he drew on her arm, and she's there. Are you okay? Eventually I will be. His fucking face. JGL, man, he's got the goods. I love him. You know, you weren't wrong. It's, you know, you were right. It just wasn't me you were right about. And the biggest thing that he could do, the biggest hurdle that he gets over is her walking away and him saying, I really do hope that you are happy. That's where the reset happens, you know. And then, of course, day 500, most days of the years are unremarkable. And it's May 23rd, and he goes in for the meeting, and, you know, he meets that very, very beautiful young woman. What was her name again? I said it before. Mikey, Michaela. She was in...
Minka Kelly?
What is it?
It's Minka Kelly.
Minka Kelly. Right.
Yeah.
So, just like light speed gorgeous woman. And she was in Friday Night Lights, which I very much enjoy. And also, she was Dove.
What?
Not the soap. She's Dove in Titans. The TV show Titans.
Holy fuck, you're right.
Yep.
It's, yeah.
How about that?
It's Dove and fucking Hawkman. Not Hawkman.
Yep. That was my favorite part of that show there, story.
Yeah,
I loved it. Because Hawkman ended up in the fucking other dimension or whatever.
Yeah, it was fucking, it was pre-Reacher, man.
Pre-Reacher, fucking humongoid, whatever his name is. Gigantor. Yeah, him. He'd a big motherfucker, all right? He was big in Hawk and Dove and shit and Titans. Have you seen him as Reacher? Fucking insane. No one should be that big. There's no point. How does he get into a car? It's fantastic. You know, they sort of had that moment, and he's like, do you want to get coffee? And she's like, I've got to meet someone. And then that the paper, okay, yeah, great. Comes back, I'm Tom. I'm Autumn. Fucking mic drop. Absolutely excellent, like, ending. The spiking of the camera for just 2 seconds, and then back to one. Back to day one. Boom. That's a fucking great ending, man. Not all movies end great, and this ends really, really great. I love it.
It's an amazing ending.
It's a really fucking great film. It's kind of why we left it to last, because as much as the other ones in this series that we've done I really enjoy, this has a really special place. I don't know why. Something about the storytelling pedigree of it, and it's what it's saying is you know, really interesting, and the performances are so great, so well made. Yeah, it's a real, like, if you say to someone, name me a fucking romantic comedy, you know, one of your favorites, it's going to be like When Harry Met Sally, 500 Days of Summer. Like, they're right next to each other, you know. When Harry Met Sally is my favorite romantic comedy, by the way. Just Married's actually really good as well, with Ashton Kutcher and R.I.P. Brittany Murphy. But yeah, anyway, great picture. We love it. We don't really do the sort of favorite lines anymore because I just kind of went through all of my favorite lines. But what's your favorite scene? Okay,
this will be cheating. So let's not include their expectations versus
no,
reality.
that is my favorite scene. That's absolutely cheating. Yeah.
It's the record store where he, like, the first time they go to the record store, and she's talking about Ringo Starr, and Octopus's garden, and then he like walks around and picks up Octopus's garden with Ringo Starr like on the cover with the rose. Yeah, it's either that or I Love the Smiths, and I Love the Smiths partially because it's also referenced in The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I think my favorite scene is the bit where he gets frustrated about his job. You know, there's enough bullshit in the world without me contributing to it. I know what that feels like, and what he's doing is trying to process real emotions while trying to activate other people's fake ones. Like it's just I know what that feels like. The corporate mandate versus the actual art there is in writing and expressing things, particularly your emotions. So yeah, that rings really true to me, that scene. I don't know. I've never stormed out of a meeting like that or whatever, but I've definitely not taken jobs because the people on them were fake or false, at least, you know. Yeah, it's an excellent picture. 500 Days of Summer, directed by Mark Webb, released in the year of our Lord 2008. Can't believe it. That's absolutely crazy. It's nearly been fucking 20 years. Do check it out again. You won't mistake it. Before we get to Here's Chaz, which is our new question segment, Here's Chaz and Friends, I just want to shout out real quickly, Emily, my fiance, has started listening to the show.
Woo!
And yeah, I don't know why. She's just like started to engage with it. Nearly up to 100 episodes, babe, but whatever. But these movies are kind of her speed. And so she listened to the Perks of Being a Wallflower episode. So I just wanted to say, hey, babe, hope you're enjoying the episode. 500 Days of Summer. Say hi, Addie.
Hey, hope you're doing well.
We're here now, and the next episode is on something you haven't seen, so you don't have to watch that one. But yeah. Okay. So do we want to hear Chaz? We got some Chaz?
Before that, I sort of have a game.
Okay. What do you mean you sort of have a game?
Well, because kind of ranking out of the coming of age films that we've done.
Yep.
Give me a ranking of top 3, because we've done 4.
Sure. Well, for starters, fuck you.
Hey man, what time?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I know my partner's listening now. I can't organise a tryst with a
I'm
fucking...
so sorry.
a transcontinental tryst with my podcasting partner. Let me think. So what do we do? Spectacular Now, 500 Days of Summer, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and
Edge of 17.
Edge of 17, right? I think in ascending order, it goes Perks, this, and Spectacular Now is my number 1. I just love that it's not as well executed a film as 500 Days of Summer, and you know, in a way I don't like it as much either, but it feels really true, and the performances are stunning. Like I just think it lives and dies on the performance of those two actors, and it's beautiful. What about you?
Perks of Being a Wallflower, number 1. Number 2, 500 Days of Summer. Number 3, Age of 17.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I was more excited to see what ends up on the chopping board.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still love. That's why I said fuck you. I still love that movie, but I just, you know, I know where my heart lies. So that's it, everybody. On to Chaz.
We have a question and we have a statement. Now, I did ask for this person to clarify what they meant. They haven't responded. So maybe you can make sense of this, because I really couldn't understand this. Audiences preach that they want realism, yet we have too many codependent romance films.
So the suggestion is from this person that there aren't codependent romances in real life.
I don't know.
If that's what you mean, that's absolutely not true. There's like so many relationships are codependent.
Wait, isn't that the beauty of it? That you're dependent on the other person, not as in like financially, but like
no. Like as you identify yourself through that relationship. Yeah, I mean, there's an unhealthy version of that, sure, but there's also a healthy version of that too. But being completely singular or solo in a relationship isn't a relationship, because then you don't make decisions together, which is what a relationship is. So, yeah, I would say if that's a statement, I think it's probably incorrect. If it was a question, I would have to say no, like it's not. I don't think that the realism is like if you're talking about codependent relationships in movies, you're right. That's what a lot of them, romantic comedies are like. But that, it rings pretty true to me.
Also, the best codependent relationship of all time, Ted Lasso and Coach Beard. Like, get on with it.
Yeah, it's either that or me and my cats. Yeah.
Right. So here's Chaz. Now.
Here's Chaz.
Now.
It's his own segment.
This is the question, and the question will only make sense when I read his answer. What existing IP would be interesting to see imagined in extreme weather plot device?
Extreme weather plot device. Okay, what's his answer?
So he said, my answer is Batman Assault on Arkham, featuring Nirvana's Breed as the inspiration for theme arrangement. In extreme winter storm, deep freeze hitting Gotham, Gordon is trapped in Arkham during Prison Break.
Yeah, no, I get what he's meaning now. Yeah, so add an extreme weather idea to a franchise thing. Very much so. I would say you set an entire Predator movie in the snow because it's kind of like the jungle, but snow.
It's kind of like the jungle, but snow is good.
Yeah, and you just have it, you go back Prey style and have it be sort of Neanderthal man. And then it could be a completely silent movie.
I don't think we will ever get over our disappointment of Prey not being a silent film.
Yeah, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. But still, like it's hard to sell a silent film, Predator or no.
Yeah, it's so hard that Babylon tried and failed miserably.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what to say to that, honestly. Titans from DC, like not the show, but like actual like Teen Titans, but like older, have them in a desert. Like straight up desert and snowstorm. Not snowstorm. Oh my god.
Sandstorm.
They're trying to find the Justice League because they disappeared.
Nice.
That's kind of what Deceased is, right?
No, not really. It's more like Deceased is the anti-life equation gets mixed with like a fucking zombie plague. It's really good. Really good. That's the best Tom Taylor's done ever. That and the first probably 20 issues of his Nightwing run.
That first 20 issues of Nightwing they're
Leap of Faith is the bit like that arc is incredible. Yeah, with Heartless and stuff. He kind of teed it off towards the end because he was just busy doing 17 other things as well. But yeah. And
I love that was like one of the first comics that you put me on. It was like you say you'll really like this, and I loved it so much that like that version of Nightwing became like my ideal superhero. Almost as much as fucking Superman, because he's the best of both worlds.
He really is, yeah, and he's like kindness is king with Dick, and I love that. It's he's a great character. Fabulous. That's all of our questions. Thanks for playing along, everybody. We'll see you next week. Back on some genre shit, talking about Spider Noir. Very excited about it, color and in black and white. But until then, you're beautiful. You're wonderful. I cherish you. And Addie, you are. This is my 3 times 500 days of summer with you, buddy. 1,516 days, motherfucker. Just beginning. Just getting started.
Yo, my summer, autumn, winter, spring, fall, and everything in between.
Look at that. Did you hear that? He said. Did you say summer, winter, spring, and fall? Here we call it autumn.
Here we call all of it summer because it's summer 12 months a year.
And with that, fuck hate, everybody.
Love wins. Penis.
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 Penis!